Now let's turn to Thailand. Yesterday there was a celebration because two ancient Thai statues made their way home. One of them is a 4-foot-tall bronze figure believed to depict the Hindu god Shiva. It is known as the Golden Boy or the Standing Shiva. The other statue is called the Kneeling Lady. Both these figures are about 1,000 years old. They're both considered masterpieces, but about 50 years ago, they were looted and smuggled out of Thailand. It may not surprise you to learn that there was some British involvement in this looting. The statues eventually made their way to the Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York, where they've been for decades. But finally, the Met decided to do the right thing. Yesterday, they actually returned the statues to Thailand. Our next report has the details.
The gilt bronze figure of the Hindu god Shiva displayed before you here today is without doubt a singular masterpiece, one of the most important religious sculptures of its kind to survive from mainland Southeast Asia.
That was John Guy, curator in the Department of Asian Art at the Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York City. He was in Thailand yesterday, bringing back some long-lost treasures. Two bronze statues, both almost 1,000 years old. One of them is called the Kneeling Lady. It depicts a woman with her hands folded in prayer. The other statue, the one the Met curator was talking about, is called the Standing Shiva or the Golden Boy. It is about 129 centimeters or 4 feet tall. It has two names because there are two theories about what the statue depicts. The Met and most others believe that the statue depicts a god, the Hindu god Shiva. 1,000 years ago, Hinduism was a dominant religion in Southeast Asia. The region is home to numerous ancient Hindu temples and statues. The Standing Shiva statue may be one of them. The second theory is that the statue depicts a king, the Khmer king Jayavarman VI. He reigned between 1080 AD and 1107 AD, approximately when the statue was created. So it's possible that it depicts him as well. Whatever the case, the statue is still a masterpiece, a priceless artifact that belongs to the people of Thailand. But about 50 years ago, the statue was taken from them. A woman said she found the figure in 1974. While digging for sweet potatoes. She says she took it to the police, who directed her to Thailand's capital, Bangkok. There, she sold the priceless statue to a foreigner for about $33,000. Eventually, the statue wound up at the Met Museum a few years later. The Met had the statue in their collection from 1988 till last year. That's when they decided to return it.
The Met initiated the return of these two objects after reviewing information and established that the works rightly belonged to the Kingdom of Thailand. This return followed the launch of the Met's Cultural Property Initiative last year, an initiative driven by the Met's commitment to the responsible collecting of antiquities and to the shared stewardship of the world's cultural heritage.
The Met discovered that the statue was linked to a man called Douglas Latchford. He was a British antique collector and dealer. Over the years, he sold numerous South Asian artifacts to museums around the world. He was accused of smuggling artifacts for years, but he wasn't formally charged or indicted until 2019. But before the case could progress, Latchford died in 2020. His family still denies any wrongdoing. But the Met Museum seems to have seen the light.
On behalf of the Thai government and all Thai people, I'd like to express gratitude that these two important artifacts have returned home. These artifacts that Thailand has received from the Met are the national assets of all Thais.
While the story has a happy ending, it still took far too long for justice to prevail. And there are still thousands of artifacts lying around in Western museums. Priceless heritage which was stolen by colonizers. Thailand's story should be an inspiration to the rest of the global South. Because there's still a lot of loot left that needs to be returned.
Firstpost reports from the world's second largest continent. Hello, I'm Alison Lagrange. A very warm welcome from Durban, South Africa. We get you the news and the newsmakers from Africa. South Africa goes to the polls on the 29th of May. I will track the election and bring you ground reports. Is it the end of the road for the African National Congress? And will former President Jacob Zuma stage a dramatic comeback? From elections to climate change to innovations and opportunities. As the world's attention shifts, we report from Africa, the heart of the global south. Join me every weekday live on First Post.